Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. In today's age, you can't just have boring photos on your property marketing listings. You've got to have a virtual walkthrough tour. That way, tenants can quickly qualify themselves and look through the property even at 2 in the morning online. But I can hear you say, look, Darren, it's too expensive with cameras and takes too long. That's why you've got to go to virtualtourscreator.com.au and check out how you can do walkthrough virtual tours using your mobile phone. Go and check it out. Also, talk to Tom there at virtualtourscreator.com.au on how you can quickly turn your tours into really cheap floor plans as well. Take care.
Hi, it's Deniz Yusuf here, and I've got Mr. Darren Hunter with me today, and we are here for the BDM Coach podcast show. Darren, we have done so many BDM podcast shows, and this is the first time we've got you on.
Like first time I'm actually allowed to come onto the show.
It is. Do you feel honoured? Like you're our first
I feel
guest.
honoured, and I'm pumped for today. So we're talking about an area of expertise that I really enjoy.
You're very good at this, Darren. And I remember, just so everyone knows, Darren is the machine behind all of the podcasts. He's always messaging, bringing it up in our directors' meetings. I need more shows. And I said, Darren, you're going to be my first guest because we need to do scripts and dialogues. And out of all of the the courses that we're doing, the programs, the Grow 100s, the BDM clubs, whatever we're doing, I'm always dragging you in for scripts and dialogues. And it's so funny. Sometimes you say, Dennis, this person needs scripts and dialogues training. I told them that you're going to give them a call. And I say, I don't know why you get me to call them. You turn my scripts into machines.
Well, I guess to set the scene, certainly the BDM Coach podcast show, and yes, I'm the marketing machine behind it. And I'm really telling you guys what we need next for topics, but it's very much the toolbox. BDM Coach show is very much a toolbox, closing techniques or scripts or dialogues. If you actually look at the episodes and the titles, you'll see it's very much a toolbox to help practical information that's useful to a person out there growing the red roll, whether it's a BDM or a property manager or whatever. So that is the and it's different from our PM Growth Expert show. That's got a different need that it's filling there. And I guess with scripts and, Dennis, you've got your book that's been released, the PM Lead Secrets.
Well, Darren, on that book that I've just got here in my hands here, the PM Lead Secrets book, I have my scripts in there, but I've also got some that you bring up as well. So the book itself is full of scripts. And if anyone is interested in getting their free copy, you only have to pay for the postage. Go to pmleadsecrets.com and click on that link, and you'll be able to, receive your copy as well. But sorry, keep going, Darren.
So I'm just saying, everyone, that's our first book. And Dennis, we've already posted out, is it nearly 1,100 books now, and which is huge. I mean, when 90% of books out there don't even get over 100 placed. It's quite a feat. But the news is, the secret is, it's new news. I'm actually writing a whole book just on fee scripts at the moment. So, watch this space. Give me a few months and we'll get this thing released. I've already written 20% of it. We've already got 50% of the text laid out. And it's going to be pumping. So it's just going to be on fee scripts. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it is, Darren. It's a hot topic right now, especially in the market, but this is a hot topic all the time. It doesn't matter what market we're in, whether we're in a hot selling market or a hot rental market, scripts and dialogues about, the other agent is, offering me a cheaper fee or whatever the case. That happens all the time. Everyone in their lifetime as a real estate agent will face this. I personally faced it for so many times. I can't even put a number on it, but once you get your scripts and dialogues right and you set the agent up for where do I sign versus what are your fees, all of these things help, but that's the people that we train get that, but there's so many people out here that aren't under our training. So these scripts that you're going to cover 9, and we might throw in a few more, who knows, we're going to cover 9 different examples. And these are from some of our clients that they're using as well. And you've got these all nailed out. And I'm really excited. I think it's a great topic that this will be one of our top performing podcasts.
It will. And Deniz, we've done a lot of travel in our time, and we've been out driving in a car with a person that's a bit of a growth expert, and I'll pop the question, how would you answer this? So today it's very much, I'll pop the question with a lot of people, and how would you answer the common fee objection, but the other agent is cheaper? Because Deniz, do you think a lot of agents are getting that fee objection a lot of the time?
All the time, and I can't stand hearing because we do it better. That's not a response.
We've got better customer service.
We're 20 years experience, but we don't know if it's 20 years of good experience or bad experience. It is a question that we have asked in I'm going to say well over 70% of the podcasts that we've done. This is a question where we've asked some of those experts too.
So we're giving 9 different ways that you can respond. And Deniz, you've got your ideas, and these are 9 different ways, and you just got to pick and choose, what's going to work for you. But Deniz, I want to set the scene first.
Go for it.
To everyone to understand, and what I'm about to say, the penny's going to drop for a lot of people here. And that's very simply that when agents go into the market and price themselves. So let's say a new agent comes into the market, they go and look at what other agents are charging. They look at the other agency down the road and they grade themselves, and they think, well, I'm not as good as that agent because they're good because of this, and they think that they're not as good as them on a perception basis for whatever reason, and then they price themselves less than what that agency is because they don't feel that they're as good as, therefore they're not pricing themselves the same as. And they'll also look at other agents, go, oh, we're much better than them. We'll cream them, no problem. They're no good because of this, or whatever information or perception that they have, and they price themselves more. And so you need to understand is that when you get but the other agent is cheaper, you need to know the other agent is cheaper for a reason. And so Deniz, this comes into my first script. And probably one of our most well-known ones, it just works. And so script number 1, and I call this competing services. That's the title of this script. And it's very simple. It's easy to understand. Look, Mr. Smith, we know what other agents are charging. And did you know they also know what our charges are too? And despite knowing our fees and our charges, and because they still have to go and sign up new business, and instead, what they've done is they've adjusted their fees down to what they believe their level of service is and what they can deliver. Otherwise, they would be charging the same as us. That's a very powerful, comeback, because you need to understand out there, people, that your cheaper agents know that you are more expensive. And despite that, they still come in cheaper because they don't believe they're as good as you. You need to take that to heart. You need to really, really believe what I've just told you. And once you take it to heart and you believe that when you say that script in your own words, your clients will, or your prospects will believe it too.
Yeah, it's a great one to start with. It really is. It's like, and if you're confident and you know your worth, you know what your rivals are doing, so you know what your points of differences are, and you basically say, yep, look, Darren, I totally understand that the other agencies are charging a cheaper fee. They know what we charge too, but they still choose to have a lower fee because their service is lower. It's just, the thing about these scripts, you've got to turn it into you, and that one, I've just shortened to about a third of your one, and it can be so powerful. It can give that potential landlord aha moment. The aha moment, it's a very good script, very powerful to start with.
It is. And here's another thing to understand. You just don't get out there, Deniz. If an agency really, really, really believes that their services are top notch, you won't see them charging a discount fee. You just don't. People always charge what they believe their service is worth.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
Now they might do this, discount, but every now and again or whatever. But if people know that they want to get what they believe they're worth, so they charge the price points that you see other agencies out there charging is simply a reflection of what they think their services are worth. And so owners need to know that, which is a really, really good start there. But Deniz, you've got a good spin about, which I want you to add now, regarding about what are agencies saving the client.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously a lot of I used to use my proof statements as my point of difference. We had a lot of point of differences. Sometimes you've got those people that they don't care. They don't care that you're offering videography and no one else does. They all know in the long run that they're going to get a tenant. So I used to use my proof statements. As an example, if we were to work on a property that's roughly $500 a month, or let's say $2,500 a month for our, $500 a week, $2,500 per month for our American friends, and that equates to about $70 a day, right? So you've got to know your numbers as a BDM. So that's roughly $70, $71 something, right? So $70, we round it down. If you're renting properties 10 days quicker or 12 days quicker, that all of a sudden is $700 you're putting into your owner's pockets. Or if it's, 11 days or 12 days, whatever it is, it's just quickly working out what it is, times it by that number of days, and then you giving that to the owner. Darren, I totally understand that, they're offering you equate it. So if it's 1%, it might be $5 a day, right? So that's $75. That's one day of you renting a property quicker than them that you could actually get them that money back, right? So it's about knowing the numbers. So Darren, I totally understand that they've offered you 1% leasing fees, which is equivalent to whatever. We are leasing properties 11 days quicker. So that's an extra $770 in your pocket just for signing with us.
Well done.
Silence, right? And then there's silence because you're showing them it's about the money that you are saving them versus the fee that you're paying. But that's got to be part of your scripts right through, educating them at the beginning so it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah. Well done. All right. Well, let's just have a look at these other scripts here. And, I've got a list in front of me here, but the next script we call setting market rate. So again, this is a response to, but the other agent is cheaper. So this is all we're focusing on today. We're not talking about scripts if they say, look, if you can match your management fee with the other agents or your fees are too high, or we will deal with those in another podcast. But today it's just response to, but the other agent is cheaper. So, all right, let's talk about this script on setting market rates. As an agency, when we set our pricing, we examine the marketplace and price ourselves against our competitors in line with what we know we can deliver in service, but also in line with our business running expenses as well. We charge a bit more than others because we know we can deliver more than what others can. And in turn, we have happier clients. Cheaper agencies also set their pricing the same way as us. If they charge cheaper, then they've said that what they don't believe that they can deliver the same service as us. Otherwise, they'd be charging the same as us. They're cheaper for a reason. Very similar to that first one, isn't it? It's just a different spin with some different words. You just need to understand that every objection that you get, there is an answer as long as you believe it. And you see, in this particular case, you just need to understand the concept and then know how to simply explain that concept in your own words. Then it will come across believable. But if you simply robotically repeat these words and these scripts that I'm reading to you, then you're going to find that you're not coming across as believable and not genuine, and you'll come across as a fake. And that will then reduce trust substantially, could particularly even just kill the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Darren, I like this approach. It's giving you a different angle, and it's like we've got to be like a tank with scripts and dialogues. There's all different types of ammunition to use, and you use it accordingly to your potential client. as we all know, the different personalities, the different ways they read into things. So this one is a really good one for the approach. I think it's great.
Correct. And I think you only need to learn one or two of these scripts for but the other agent is cheaper for this to work. So this is not learning them all. This is just pick and choose what you relate to, what you like, because you're only going to use what you believe to be true for you. All righty. And so you just got to listen out what resonates with you, learn that by repetition, and then, of course, deliver it. The next one we call mental anguish, and we've got to give credit to Steve Rosenberg from Texas. This was his when I was driving with him. I said one day, Steve, how would you answer this one? What line do you use? What script you use? And this is what he came up with. So, all right. So mental anguish, the name is already gets your attention, doesn't it? All right. Well, Mr. Smith, if you want an agent that's cheaper, you'll also need to factor in the mental anguish you'll experience with having to micromanage inexperienced property managers as they turn over every few months, plus all the issues and complications that'll result from so much turnover, plus the possible hundreds, if not thousands of dollars this will cost you. Don't sacrifice your peace of mind and hard-earned money simply to get some cheaper fees up front, only to lose it all and more later on. So again, thank you, Steve. What a great script.
Yeah, very good, especially if you're an agency that you've got longevity of staff. This is one that you would latch onto, on top of the other ones. This could be your uppercut punch if you've got longevity of staff. A great one if you're a standalone business as well. If you're the boss and you're the BDM and you're the one that's going out there chasing the business, you can say, well, I'm the business owner. I can't quit. So, that's a really good one to use.
Dealing with fee objections is very much like a game of tennis. They just want to have the fun of negotiation. They like you, they want you, but hey, let's just see if we can just get the fee cheaper because it'll make me feel better. So it's like a game of tennis. They hit the ball at you. Your confident response to what they say, hitting it back in a confident way is likely to win the deal because they're just seeing how good you are. And if they're impressed with your response, it sounds reasonable, it sounds persuasive, then they're probably just going, oh, okay, that makes sense. And now you've got it over the line. But you've got to come up with a good response. So the next one is... I
like this one, Darren. Because I know. We were in Vegas together when we were in the car. And
I remember this one. We were actually driving around Vegas. George Trombley from Vegas was driving us around the suburbs. You remember we were showing us the sites. And in fact, I reckon this is the street we're in when he was actually showing us the house from the movie Casino.
Yeah.
And I asked George this question on that day, and he had such a good response. And you know what George's like, he's very direct. and this just suits his style. So the way I'm saying it, I reckon I'll do the nice version, and then I'll do the George version. What do you reckon? So, all right, so let's go. All right, so this is called Real Difference. So Mr. Smith, if you hire us or not, it won't make any real difference to us. We'll just go and sign up the next client that comes along. But if you go and hire another agency who's cheaper, then you'll stand a much greater chance to be in a far worse off place if you go with them instead of employing us to manage your property. So it's
direct.
Yeah. What was that?
It's direct.
It is very, very direct. He's saying, look, we're getting people coming to us all day, every day. If we miss out on you, we just move on to the next one. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. But to you, it could make the world of difference. In fact, you could be stepping to a whole world of pain that's going to stay with you for years and years and years and really, really cost you as well. So I just thought that's a really, really good script. So thank you, George.
Yeah, George is a good guy.
All right, let's go on to the next one. And we've got to credit Selena Mason with this one. And we called it the staff turnover script. So here's the response. If you want an agency that charges X%, then you'll also need to prepare to deal with 5 different property managers over the next 12 months in turnover, as they will need to manage a whole lot more properties per property manager just to remain in business. No good property manager will put up with it. If you want a good property manager that's here for the long haul, it costs just that little bit more. Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
Because a lot of these owners that talk about the other cheaper agent down the road don't realize what comes with the package of being cheaper. It means cheap means the property manager is going to have to manage a lot more properties for the agency to be profitable, because they're not in it for not-for-profit. They're going to have to manage more, which puts strain on the property manager. No good property manager is going to put up with it, so they leave. No good property managers then going to want to work there, so they'll end up with either inexperienced people or worse, bad property managers will put up with it. And then what happens, Dennis, to the customer service? Goes down. And now the owner is in a world of pain, possible negligence to deal with, costs, indirect costs, he can't get off the agent, lots of wear and tear, or whatever issues are coming out of the cheap agent model. Now, also everyone out there, you need to understand and maybe also use the word factory. I think the factory word is a terrible word. Yes, Mr. Smith, the other cheaper agent, they're cheap because they use a factory model. Property managers have to manage a lot more, blah, 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 blah. So, even consider working the word factory into your model. So let's move on to the next one. And we've got to credit a man called Deniz Yusuf for this one. I'm going to read it, but Deniz, you can give the commentary on it, okay? So
it's a good one. It is a good one. Now, I actually turned this around.
Deniz, you read this one. You've got the words there.
I'm going to read it from what you've got because it's good. But just to paint the picture, originally my thought was about eye surgery, but but when you picked up on it, I actually, when I said it, I did it on heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
Because I had an eye operation. It's interesting. And when I used to talk to my clients as a BDM, I used to use the accountant as my example. So it is one that I used to use, but it's called the heart surgeon, what Darren's called it here. But Darren, I think we've got to keep with the flow, mate. I'm happy for you to read it and I'll just go.
All right. I like it because it just drives home a really good point, but okay.
It's solid, this one.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Smith, would you ask your heart surgeon for a discount right before an operation? Likely not, as you'd fear what they'd leave out of the process. We're unable to leave anything out of our service offering too, as it's all crucial to the overall management process. That's why we must charge you full fees. We can't do it cheaper. We know it costs we know what it costs our company to manage your property, and I'd be suspicious of any agency that tells you that they can do the same job for less.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, right? This one's a really good one. When the owner actually says, "But don't you all do the same thing?" Well, actually, we don't. So, and this is a good script for that. I do remember one of my very first presentations, they asked me for a discount. I didn't know what to say because I can't ask my accountant for a discount. You don't think, your accountant's doing all this work. You don't think, well, what's my discount? They just do their job. But why is it that people feel like when we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars in a person's investment that they want a cheaper service to manage their potential biggest investment? But eye surgery, you're not going to ask the eye surgeon for a discount. Heart surgeon, you're not going to ask them for a discount.
Correct. But you're in real estate, they will. So
it's just emotional attachment we've got here, Darren. That's what's really good about it. And I used to love working on emotion. So, yeah.
Let's move on to the next script. So this setting the scene, go right back to what we originally started with, Dennis, talking about agents coming to the market and pricing themselves in accordance with what they believe they're worth compared to the quality of their rivals, whether they're better or worse. So I just want to move that now to Toyota and Kia. As you know, Dennis and you, we're both Toyota fans. We love a Toyota. That's all I'm ever going to drive. And a Kia, which is Toyota is a Japanese model. The Japanese culture really comes through on the quality of these vehicles because they're so exact, so precise, so systematic, so focused on quality and so forth. But we've got now a Kia, which is a different from a different country. And you've got, the Kia Rio, which is, 4 doors, hatch, it's got 4 wheels, 4 cylinders, just like a Toyota Corolla, which has got 4 doors, 4 cylinders, 4 wheels. It's you can say apples for apples, but Toyota knows they've got great resale value. They've got a very good trusted brand. You've got a very reliable vehicle that will just go for miles and miles and miles and miles. People know that Toyota parts are genuinely cheap and all of that. So Toyota comes in and they price themselves accordingly to what they believe their product is worth. Kia, though they've got a car that looks very similar to a Corolla in a way, they come in, but they look at Corolla, they look at Hyundai, and they price themselves to what they believe their product is worth compared to the other brands as well. So with that in mind, let's do this script called Kia versus Toyota. Well, sure, the other agent is cheaper, but so is buying a Kia instead of a Toyota. However, the Kia is going to start causing you a lot more issues sooner and will be a lot more costly in the long run than if you just bought the Toyota in the first place. Yeah, the Toyota costs more, but with the Kia, they haven't got the reliability of the Toyota. And though it may be cheaper at the start, in the long run, it breaking down and all of those sort of things is going to cause you a problem. Now, Deniz, whether that's the truth or not, it doesn't matter because Kia offers a very, very long warranty as well. It's the way that what you've illustrated there is perceived by the client. If you believe it, they will believe it too. And what I've just said sounds very, very reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah, Darren, if someone did throw that at me and saying that they're offering a good service, I'd be saying, but I don't want to go to the service department every 5 weeks. So even if someone has a service guarantee and they're a little bit cheaper, but I don't want to be ringing you saying I'll give you 1 month's free management back because we stuffed up. It's not about that. You're still having that angst. You're still having the anxiety of the property not being managed up to standard. You bring up Toyota, right? Toyota, I have to say, have got one of the strictest processes in place just for the rubbers inside the motors. My cousin used to be in charge of the factory on the south coast of New South Wales. He said Toyota was the only company that would send them back if it was the slightest little thing. They are really strict. And knowing this stuff and then explaining it and selling it to them as an experience gets them over the line.
Yeah. No, that's cool. All right. So there's the concept there. And certainly, though it's cheaper at the start, it's going to cost you more in the long run, pricing and all those sort of things. Okay, let's talk about the next script. We call this less than expected. Well, Mr. Smith, if we went and simply charged the same as that cheaper agent, but then also delivered the same level of service as them, you'd be disappointed. This can damage your reputation as you tell others about your experience with us. We don't want this to happen. That's why we must only charge in line with the service levels we deliver. So you don't want your reputation damaged. We need to deliver our level of service. That's why we need to charge our level of fees, not the fees that match the rivals' level of service. So, all right, now last one. This last one. Now, Deniz, for our listeners, if you're not part of the IGT Inner Circle Facebook group, that's where our people come together. This is where we have our Inner Circle for Inspired Growth Training. Make sure you're part of that. Just go to the IGT Inspired Growth Training Facebook page. Make sure you like the page. Press the button, join group, or just go to the IGT Inner Circle. Make sure you answer the 3 questions. Oh my goodness me. Deniz, you are a great and wonderful master gatekeeper, and I know you won't let anyone pass unless they answer the 3 questions, because why is that, Deniz? Why is that so important?
Because culture is really important to me, and I want to make sure that they are real estate agents coming in, and we don't want our group to be flooded with people trying to spamming them with selling things or being negative in the group, etc. Yep, you can go in there and vent, but we're really strict on making sure we've got good quality people in the group.
So yeah, IGT Inner Circle. Now, there was a question the other day with regarding, I was just saying to people, look, I'm writing a book on fee scripts. What are some objections that you'd like to see covered in it? And one came up and with, owners, what can I drop out of the services? What can I drop out of your management services so I can get a cheaper fee? Now, Deniz, the short answer to that is in property management particularly, there aren't things that we can just drop out. You can't drop out the tenancy application process. You can't just allow the landlord to do that bit. We're going to run into all sorts of trouble, right from day one. We can't just drop out the routine inspection, or we can't just drop out the lease renewal process, or we can't drop out the rent increase process, or we just can't leave out the repairs process, or if a tenant gets behind in rent, the chasing of late rent. It's a whole meal that the owner has to get. We can't leave pieces out. So with that in mind, all right, let's just lay the ground play for one of my favorites, the pizza script. All right, Mr. Smith, if we agreed and charged less, then you're also asking us to deliver less, as well as we would need to leave parts of our service out. And if you were really hungry and ordered your favorite pizza, I bet you'd be upset when you got it, when it was delivered, if some slices were missing. You'd likely complain and have something to say about it, or perhaps even give a bad online review as well. And this is likely your greatest asset here, your property investment that we're talking about. And as for us to give you full service, we must deliver you the full pizza. We've got to give you all slices. That's why we've got to give you a full service. That's why we must also charge full fees. And it makes sense. There is nothing in the management process that you can genuinely leave out. It's a full pizza. Therefore, the owner is going to get upset if slices are missing. Therefore, the full service must be delivered. And so therefore, full fees need to be charged.
Imagine if it still had all the pieces, but they didn't put cheese on it.
There you go. And I've had, they've been giving, every now and then, I do get a pizza from a pizza shop and they don't put cheese on top. I don't know. I don't get that one.
Well, pineapple, if you asked for a ham pineapple pizza and they didn't give you pineapple, some people might be happy not to have pineapple on a pizza, but if you specifically ask for ham and pineapple and you don't get it, you'd feel ripped off, So look, a great arrangement of scripts and dialogues here, Darren, and really threw in an extra one as well. Ultimately it comes back to how much money you're saving your clients versus the fees. And these scripts are just mechanisms or tools to guide them into the right direction, into your funnel, so that you do win them over. These all got to be part of the scripts during that selling process, so you're not relying on them when they ask you, So, if people want, there's plenty of podcasts and training that we have got that people can go to and have a listen to, because you don't want to get to these last moment of having to rely on a script and dialogue, right? Ultimately, get some extra training on board. And if anyone does want to become a member, or they want to, get some more free training, go to pmleadsecrets.com and, simply download, order your free delivery of a free book and just pay for the postage.
No, that's it. That book's awesome, Deniz. 45 ways to grow your rent roll. It is certainly the leading book that's ever been written on how to generate more leads. So everyone, make sure you get your hands on that. And looking forward to delivering the fee scripts as well next year in our next book. So we've actually, Deniz, we've got 6 books. One's already published, but 6 books in the lineup. But it's been a good podcast. So thanks everyone for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for being part of the BDM podcast show. You are our inaugural official first member that Michael and I have. It's normally just him and I, but we've dragged you in today. So thank you very much.
Well, I better get back to marketing of our podcast. So
now you can start writing your mark. I don't have to email you the points, right? You've got the marketing in front of you.
Got it.
Awesome. Excellent, everyone. Darren, thank you very much for being on board with us. This is the BDM podcast show. If anyone is having problems in growing their rent roll, give us a call. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.